Good afternoon. I'm going to call this session of the Board of Revision to order. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory and it's the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Harvey Diamond. With me to my left is Susan Gifford, and to my far left, Mr. Ron Merritt. The city is represented by the assessor Heather Gavis, and our recording secretary is Michelle Nippon. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment rule in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision have been requested are described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that applicants and the assessor make at this hearing must be sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to these matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparative assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by council and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decision on the basis of the evidence that we hear today and that alone, and we issue written orders that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to an application for exemption from taxation. Should a party wish to appeal, the method of doing so will be included with our order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm that matters to be addressed with each applicant before swearing in. We will then hear the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that may be asked. The applicant then will provide their testimony, followed by questions, and each party will be given an opportunity to summarize if they wish to do so. Once all the evidence on an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each application on the docket, and the session will close after all applications have been heard. We will then deliberate in private. We'll make our decisions, and we'll be sent out by registered mail as soon as possible thereafter. And all information at these hearings are live streamed and recorded and form part of a public record. We can swear in the assessor and the first applicant, Mr. Joshua Gurman. Yes, sir.
Do you swear in this work? Can you state your full name, please? Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Do you swear in or would you rather affirm with the Bible? Without? Sure. Can you state your full name, please?
Joshua Benjamin Gurman.
Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And did you have anything to hand out?
Yeah. I keep one and give you the rest.
I need 3, 4, I need 5.
Yeah.
7, so perfect.
Thank you.
So as when you're ready, you can proceed.
Roll number 12050486000, 290 Elm Street. This property is located in the North River Heights neighborhood. It's a 2-story single-family dwelling that was built in 1929 with an effective age of 1949. It measures 1,824 square feet with basement finish, 2 full baths, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, 1 fireplace and a detached double garage, and it sits on a 4,420 square foot lot on an external corner with light traffic. This appeal is based on a supplementary assessment that was issued after a sales verification was done on the property. The electrical was replaced and the bathroom count was updated along with an effective age for the upgrades, resulting in a 2018 value of $463,000. The property was purchased in September of 2017 for $490,000. The comparables are all in the same neighborhood and they're all 2-story single-family dwellings. 239 Ash was built in 1926 with an effective age of 1951, and it measures 1,740 square feet, has no finished basement, 1 full bath, 1 half bath, 1 fireplace, detached double garage on a 4,822 square foot lot. The electrical, kitchen, bathroom, and flooring were upgraded in this house. 280 Cordova, built in 1931, effective age of 1945, measures 1,775 square feet with basement finish, 1 full bath, 1 half bath with shower, 1 fireplace, detached double garage, and it sits on a 5,237 square foot lot. The exterior kitchen and some flooring were upgraded. 240 Niagara Street was built in 1921 with an effective age of 1951. It measures 1,760 square feet with basement finish, one full bath, one half bath with shower, fireplace, detached double garage on a 4,387 square foot lot. The exterior electrical, bathroom, kitchen, and windows were upgraded on this house. And 489 Kingway was built in 1922 with an effective age of 1962. Measures 1,845 square feet with basement finish, one full bath, one half bath with shower, one fireplace, detached single garage on a 4,800 square foot lot on an external corner with light traffic and a school, kitty corner to it. These sales range from $248.24 to $285.58 a square foot. The subject is at $253.84 a square foot, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. If you have any questions of the assessor, you can ask them now. You have an opportunity to bring your evidence forward, but right now, just ask questions if you have any.
No.
You don't have any? Okay. Mr. Mayor, do you have any questions?
Yes, the five or the four comparables that you've listed here, they have a range of 424 to 495. And I noticed that they're quite similar to the subject property.
Mhm.
Did you get a chance to drive past the comparables at all, or?
No, I did not.
Have you been to the subject property at
No.
all?
I only saw it
No
on
opportunity?
MLS.
No opportunity?
No.
You had talked about the upgrades.
Mhm.
Was there a work permit taken out? Do you know offhand, for any of the upgrades? I think you had mentioned the electrical.
No permits found.
No permits found? So I noticed that the value of the property has gone up substantially in purchase price from 15 to 17. So, it's quite substantial, that's for sure. Any comments in regards to, what you sort of found, or in regards to the sale of the subject?
Well, it sold in 6 days. It sold under list, so,
And the reference year that we're after is?
this is a post-reference sale. We're
Yes,
after
yeah,
April 1st,
yeah.
2016.
So why would you have a post-reference sale in here?
It's only for information purposes.
Okay.
It's just the way it's printed out on our sheet.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Gifford, do you have any questions?
Yes, your comparable number 4,
Mhm.
you indicated bath upgrades. Was it just the bathroom that was upgraded?
On 4, I don't believe I had any. I don't believe that was on MLS. So I had no knowledge of upgrades.
No, okay. What about comparable 3?
3. Exterior, electrical, bathroom, kitchen, and windows.
What's the extent of the, do you have any idea, have you seen the pictures on multiple listing, or,
Of the subject,
no, of the comparable 3 for the upgrades?
I do, but I don't have them with me. I don't remember them offhand. I mean, it's not great at house.
Okay, and just to clarify, you haven't seen any of the comparables? You haven't been out?
Right.
Okay, thank you, that's my questions.
Thank you. So I'm looking at the comparable number 1,
Mhm.
which is close, and obviously it appears to have been influential because it comes out to almost the same price per square foot with
Mhm.
time adjustment.
Correct.
But it's not an external corner, so I'm asking you, how much would an external corner detract?
It's model driven, and by the area. I don't have an exact dollar amount.
Do you know which corner it's on?
The
Is
subject.
it on Kingsway, or is it on Kingsway and
I don't know, maybe, but
I can answer that.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to answer.
well, you'll get opportunity when you
Okay.
Okay. And the effective date,
Mhm.
has that been influenced by the improvements that you know that have been made, or the improvements that you indicated, the wiring and everything? Would that increase the effective age further, or is that already thought into it and arriving at the effective age that you have?
Right, the whole package.
It's all there?
Yes.
Okay, so It has an effective age of 1949 with the wiring upgrade.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask one
You
more
can.
question? Can you tell me, if I look at comparable 1 and comparable 2, there's a difference of $70,000 in regards to the sale price,
Mhm.
okay? So, but it's close to, both of them are close in regards to square footage, so why is there a difference of $70,000 between, comparable 1 and comparable 2? Do you know
Well-
offhand? Would it be
For-
upgrades?
For one thing, comparable to has basement finish, so people would be willing to pay a bit more for that.
Okay, but we don't really know what the basement finish is, do we?
No,
It could be $2,000, could be $20,000.
correct.
So, but so it didn't, you didn't pick up in regards to any sort of differences between, if you have the identical sort of area, similar addresses close to each other, et cetera, but, why the difference of 70,000?
No,
So-
that's why there's a range
Yeah.
between 425 to
But
495.
it'd be nicer to get a closer range to, put a value to the subject, so ideally. But, okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, you can go forward with your evidence now, Mr. Green.
Okay. To put this, what you see in front of me really simply, there are 2 sales of this property within a fairly close window to the target date of April 1st, 2016. So in December 2015, it sold for $425,000, it's about 3.5, 4 months from the target date. And then in November 2017, I purchased it for $490,000, which is about 19 months from the target date. The only change to the property between those 2 sales, as you'll see when you go through the listings, is the electrical. So just the knob and tube. She mentioned the bathrooms. If you go into the listings, you'll see that as of the 2015 sale for $425,000, it notes that the bathrooms have been done. So those bathrooms were part of the 2015 sale. So the only change between the 2015 sale and the 2017 sale is the electrical. So that is obviously an increase of $65,000 over that time period, 23 months. If you break down that increase and apply it to the April 1st, 2016 target date, you would end up with a valuation of $436,191. So despite the comparables here, we have 2 sales of this exact property, which as data points I would think are much more valuable. We know what the market bore for this property twice over the last couple of years.
Okay. Anything else that you want to?
That's what I got.
You'll be asked questions now.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Gladys, any questions of the applicant?
Have you done anything to the property since you purchased it?
No, I painted a couple bedrooms, that's about it. We had a baby recently, so I haven't had a lot of time to do a lot to the property.
I have nothing for you.
Okay, Ms. Gifford, any questions of the applicant?
No questions.
Mr. Barrett?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. What was the list price at the time?
The list price when I purchased it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know it's post-reference, but, offhand.
1 second, it's in the listing here. $499,900.
You get an appraisal done when you bought it? Bank-wise, or, through
The
the,
bank did.
through the lender?
Yes. the
And they
bank
were
did an appraisal.
happy with the purchase price and?
Yeah.
Okay. Had you looked at, I know they're historical in nature, okay, but did you drive past any of these comparables at all and to
These
see?
comparables?
Yeah,
This is the first time I've seen these
okay,
comparables.
okay. So, did you do sort of like a market study in regards to what you think the value should be? I mean, if
Yeah,
the
we
market
did.
is hot, you're gonna pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay, so was the market hot at that time?
At the time that we purchased?
Yeah.
We weren't the only bidder at the time.
But it never sold for over the list price.
No, we did not.
So, You think that you paid fair market value?
I believe that we paid a little bit more than we thought when we did our assessment at the time. I think we paid a little bit more than that because we knew we were competing with somebody else. We did think the list price was high.
Any
obviously.
appliances or furniture included in the purchase?
In the purchase, yeah, the stove, fridge, washer, dryer.
Standard,
Yeah, I think that's it.
okay.
Yeah.
What do you think the value should be in
As
the reference here?
As I've said here, according to those two sales points, 436, 191 is what it bears out if you take into account that increase from the 425. And that's what, most of what this says is just showing my work to show you how that increase plays out.
All right, I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so when it was sold the time before you bought it, it had not been cubed electrical, which,
Correct.
okay, which means that it was probably difficult to get a mortgage or insurance on the property at that time.
Yes, so if, I note in the end of my evidence here that the $11,000 increase that the 436, 191 represents from the December 2015 to April 1st, 2016. And when I spoke with realtors, they said, $10,000 to $20,000 increase in value when you take out knob and tube in a property like this. So that $11,000 is within that range.
Yeah, well, it also depends, because if somebody can't get a mortgage and doesn't want to do the work,
Right.
or can't do it because they have to own the property before they can,
Right.
it means there's limited purchasers, and you need purchasers who have cash because you can't get a mortgage on the property.
That's right.
At
And
that
so,
point.
as I said, when I spoke to realtors about what kind of value increase that would.
But the person who bought before you probably had bought it with the mind of doing that and flipping it,
Okay. Yeah.
okay? And he could put cash down, so he was able to buy it, but he had a captive on it because not as many people could buy it.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's a fair reference for what he paid.
Fair enough, but as I said, in speaking to realtors, they suggested to me that, when you take a knob and tube out of a house and you're looking at a $10,000 to $20,000 increase for this size of house, they couldn't give me a tighter range than that.
Okay.
So that's according to realtors. I don't know as an assessor if you have a value that.
Okay, well, that just leads to my next question to you then.
Yeah.
So the realtor that you used, did he tell you that you thought you were overpaying?
Sorry?
Did the realtor that you were using tell you that you thought you were overpaying?
Yeah, as I said, we went to a number that was higher than what we thought was the fair market value because we were competing against another bidder.
So what did your realtor tell you?
I don't remember what my realtor specifically told me in terms of the value. I remember when we looked at it, we looked at what they had paid for it and then considered that over 1 year, that they had owned it for 1 year and what kind of market increase we had seen. So I don't remember the specific numbers.
Okay. Do you know what the cost of changing the wiring from knob and tube to
I don't know
wiring would be?
I don't know what the actual price was. I'm guessing it was between $10,000 and $15,000.
Guessing you haven't priced it though, so.
No, I have not. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any other questions, thank you. Any summation by, you'd like to do any summation?
No, other than to say that, we have two, very specific data points in terms of what the house was worth at different times on the market. And, in my mind, when you have that data, it's a more valuable reference than comparables, which, are not necessarily the same house, right?
Okay, well, that's fine. You will receive our decision and you can leave it to your stay if you want to, it's up to you. Okay,
Thanks very much.
Okay, well, next, call the owner of 317 Boardroom Avenue, or Boulevard.
Okay. Would you rather be sworn in or sworn in without the Bible? Without the Bible. Okay. Can you state your full name, please?
Susan Faith Breslin.
Do you affirm that the evidence about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And do you have something to add?
No.
Okay. That's fine. I'm paperless. Smoky baby.
Yeah.
Please, girls.
So that's when you're ready to proceed?
Roll number is 100035667. 317 Boardroom Boulevard. This appeal is based on a supplementary tax bill that was issued after permits were closed for foundation and additions. The property was purchased in October 2015 for $600,500. It sold as is, very dated. In December of 2015, the new homeowners took out a demo permit for the detached garage. In January of 16, a permit for foundation for a single-family dwelling and attached garage were taken out. In March of 16, an addition permit was taken out for a mudroom addition, bedroom addition, and an 1,190 square foot attached garage. On January 8th of 2018, an attempt to inspect was done by a staff member and a card was left in the mailbox with no response coming. The staff ascertained that the work was complete and added the additions in the garage with an effective age. The total cost of the permits was $5,000 for the demo and $300,000 for the foundation and additions combined. This property is located in the Tuxedo neighborhood. It's a one-story single-family dwelling, measures 2,881 square feet with 983 square feet of basement finish, 1 full bath, 3 half baths with showers, air conditioning, 2 fireplaces, attached multi-car garage, and it sits on an external corner, and the lot measures 19,202 square feet. The comparables are all in the same neighborhood and they're all one-story properties. 410 Park Boulevard was built in '74, has an effective age of 1990, measures 2,649 square feet with basement finish, 2 full baths, 1 half bath, 2 showers, air conditioning, 2 fireplaces, and attached multi-car garage. Sits on a 10,120 square foot lot. The upgrades include electrical, flooring, kitchen, and bathroom. 316 Park Boulevard North, built in 1958. It measures 2,956 square feet with basement finish, 3 full, 2 half baths, air conditioning, 2 fireplaces, attached multi-car garage, in-ground pool sitting on an internal corner lot, measures 12,990 square feet. This sold original, very dated, similar to how the subject's 2015 sale was. It resold in 2015 for $1.1 million. 420 Laidlaw, built in 1960, effective age of 1985, measures 2,182 square feet, basement finish, 2 full baths, 1 half bath with shower, air conditioning, 2 fireplaces, and attached multi-car garage, in-ground pool on a 10,393 square foot lot. This sold with upgraded bathroom, kitchen, flooring, and windows. And 402 Park Boulevard North, built in '61, effective age of 81, measures 2,251 square feet with basement finish, 2 full, 1 half bath with shower, air conditioning, 2 fireplaces, and attached multi-car garage, in-ground pool on an internal corner, lot measuring 9,745 square feet. So these sales range from $182.24 for a dated house to $345.79. I believe the subject property is assessed fairly at $276.29 a square foot. Thank you.
Ms. Robinson, if you have any questions of the assessor, you can ask them now.
There was one number she said, $300,000.
Permit values?
That was the permit value.
Yeah. That's what it stated on the permit.
It did, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yep.
Okay. Ms. Gifford, do you have any questions of the assessor?
Yes, the increase, how did you break that down? You said 300,000 and then 500,000? Is that the way it was increased?
There was a sale for $600,515, sold as is. Then they,
No, I'm sorry, you were talking about the founded property, subject property?
Yes.
right,
You were talking about the addition, there was a garage addition, a bedroom
Yes.
addition?
yes.
Did you break down the values for those upgrades?
It's model driven, so they just added on to the property and the model derives the value.
Okay, so within the model, you had a new bedroom addition and a new attached garage?
Mudroom addition, bedroom addition, almost a 1,200 square foot attached garage.
And you had all of those how did you account for the fact that in the comparable properties, you had all those items, but they weren't new? Like, did you,
Well, with the effective age, would have driven that.
so even the additions would have an effective age, the new additions would have an effective age of 1977 under
Right.
your model?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry, what are these, this is a supplement? Supplementary?
Yes, based on the permits.
Okay, and I'm sorry, that was foundation permit, attached garage permit, and a bedroom addition permit?
Yeah, mudroom, bedroom, and attached garage.
Okay.
And the demo for the old garage.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, any questions?
I just noticed the subject is twice the size of any of the comparable land-wise.
Yes, it is quite big.
So, but it's on the corner, I assume, eh?
Right.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay, well, further to Mr. Merritt, I do notice also that it is about double the size of the others.
Yes.
Is it subdividable, do you know?
I don't know.
So you don't know if the next lot could be sold off of it?
No, I don't
House
have.
might be smack dab, or it might be one at one end, in which case it's possible, you don't know. Okay. Do you know what the house was assessed at before the supplementary assessment?
593 for 2000 and, are we on?
Yep.
This is a 2017 appeal, sorry.
Okay, so 2016,
Yeah, that was 593.
okay. And that was based on, basically, that coincided with the previous sale price of 600,000.
Correct.
So 500. Now, do you know if that was reduced because it had been applied for a reduction previously because of the condition of the basement? That could be, okay.
No, there had been no previous board decision since 2006.
And you know if that in 2006 there was a reduction for basement condition?
I don't,
You don't?
it doesn't state.
Okay. Thank you then. Okay, you can give your evidence now.
Okay. When I went and did this, we have two assessments here, and this is the problem, is I understand that the value has increased. It should be assessed a little higher than what we bought it for, because we did do some renovations to make sure we got rid of some of the old stuff that was probably very dangerous. We added really only, I believe, 500 square feet, which is just a crawl space. But then the confusion for us here is we understand we'll probably be assessed higher, but you've now assessed us two different, like you've assessed us for the year, hang on, let me get my notes so I don't confuse everybody. We got an assessment stating that this value is 628, and you're gonna assess us at 845, and then about a week later, we got a note saying that, no, you're assessed at 593 and you need to pay the difference because we've now assessed you at 796. So it's beyond confusing for us as homeowners. While we do understand we have increased our value from the initial, what we bought it for, we're not arguing it, but what is the actual value?
Okay, first of all, we're here, we're not the assessment department.
I know,
Okay,
but I'm
we're
putting
here-
it on record.
We're here to try to help you.
So I get
No,
that.
I understand, so the discussion you're trying to have with us is what you should have had with the assessment department, because we can't answer if maybe they could have.
Totally, but they told me to do this part first.
Okay, well, that might be, in any event, you have to
Yeah.
give us evidence to
Okay.
show that you are improperly, incorrectly
Okay.
assessed.
And there is evidence.
And if you can give us the evidence to
I'm
do
going to.
that, then we may be able to do something for you,
Okay,
okay?
awesome. So what you're assessing us at, the problem is I don't know what you're assessing us at.
Okay, it's not us who are
I know,
assessing you.
you guys then it is, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's
So we're
nerve-wracking.
here to try to help you
I
if
know,
we
I
can.
know.
But you
I'm
gotta
trying to
give us
bring my
evidence to do
son
so.
here to learn something
Okay.
and I'm like confused. Hey, don't do what I'm doing. So, what are you actually assessing us at is the dilemma.
Okay. So you
Okay,
have,
I'll let you ask questions, you should have asked them before, but I'll let you ask them now.
Okay, thank you.
okay, you have appealed your 2017 assessment.
Because that's what they told us to do first.
Okay, so you did not appeal your 2018?
Because you can't until you appeal this one.
No.
Look, that's what, okay.
Okay. Regardless, so 2017.
So let's just stick with 2017. Based on that, you're telling me.
796,000.
Okay, so based on that, you're telling me that you're assessing us at, I think it's like $275 per square foot.
$276.29.
Yeah, so, but an average new home build is about $225 a square foot.
You have comparables?
I don't, but I have a husband who's in the construction industry.
Yeah, but you know what, you've got a lot of North Tuxedo, and the lot is worth something that adds on to the purchase price, so it depends where the property is.
Right,
So you might be able to build a house somewhere in the city
right,
for $200,000, but you have to look at the value of the land as well.
right, I get that,
Okay.
I get that. Understand that half of our lot is got wires going through it, it's part of, it's at the end of the lane, and years ago when they developed the lot, they didn't put a back lane through it, and so we now have all those large, half the lot is filled with hydro wires, et cetera, so half of it is unusable. And we're on a corner lot that's got a 4-way stop sign. So I can't compare it to these because I didn't have any idea that we were gonna have, send us comparables. There's gotta be sort of a happy medium, I would think, between I agree the 590, what you're assessing at is not right, but to jump over almost $200,000 in a matter of 2 years.
How much did you spend on upgrades?
Well, my husband is in the industry, so I can't get into
I'll let you ask
it.
questions after the evidence is through.
Yeah,
I thought it was, sorry.
Well, I'm not sure. Are you finished with the
I don't
evidence?
know. It's nerve-wracking, let me tell
Well,
you.
that's fine, and you know what, as much time as you need. and-
Okay.
Absolutely, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, if you have any evidence, provide it, and then Ms. Gaddis will have some questions to ask you, as
Okay.
will we.
Okay. The only other thing that I can add is that the increase that you're telling us, our house has gone up by 34%, and I think it's in the top 11 cities in Canada. It's housing prices from, was it 2016 or 2015 to 2017 have only gone up by 9. I think I'm officially done because I'm just completely exhausted upstairs, so I think we're good.
Okay, any questions, Ms. Gaddis?
Okay, so, when you talk about the 9% across, does not include for the renovations that you've done to the property. You bought it for $600,000
Yeah,
and you put permits value, say, at least $300,000
right.
worth of work into it, so that's a $900,000 property.
When you apply for your permits, you actually have to put the retail, if I'm not mistaken, on there. Like, do you know, like, I didn't apply
No.
for these.
I've
So
seen permits
we
that are
project managed the
ridiculously-
whole thing, we did, so there was a lot of things that it didn't actually account to that. So it wasn't $300,000.
How much was it?
Probably should have had that with me, shouldn't I? Yeah. I'm gonna probably say it was closer to, probably about 150. We didn't add any more bathrooms, I mean, we renovated them because they were circa 57. We have the same amount of fireplaces. We did take down one, we actually took down 2 garages on the property.
So you had Mannington Custom Homes do
They
it?
were project managing it with us.
So they have a value $200,000 for the addition. With a 558 square foot bedroom addition, mudroom addition, and a almost 1,200 square foot attached garage. And then work to include kitchen and bathroom reno, new doors, new windows. Is that all correct?
Mhm.
All right, I have nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Baird, do you have any questions?
Yeah, at the time of purchase in 15, when you bought it, did you have an engineer's report or anything like that in regards to the structure at all?
I don't know if we did.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. It's
Foundation okay, or?
foundation was beautiful. We had, because we have so many people in the industry, we had them walk through
Yeah.
and take a look at it.
Okay.
But that year, everyone it was crazy in that neighborhood. So
So you have put money into it,
Mhm.
so I'll make a long story short, and that is, what do you think the value should be?
Today's value, the market value, or
Um,
the assessed
In
value?
regards to the reference year, which is April the 1st, 2016.
I would probably say it's closer to $6.99.
Mhm. And did you bring any evidence in regards to what you think similar
No.
houses? No?
Just
So-
good looks and charm. I don't know if that's gonna
Okay.
make it.
Yeah. Like, you can't really compare assessments, but,
Well, I know some of the houses that went across, one house that went
Yeah.
across the street from us, what that sold for, because we bid on it.
Okay.
And I think it sold for, I think probably 450. And it had. pretty
similar
much
size
six-
to yours? Yours is a bungalow, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
a bungalow.
Yeah,
That's
it's quite
all
a
we
big
were looking
bungalow.
at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our house, we made accessible because we wanted eventually our parents to move in, should they need to. So it is an accessible house, and that's why it's a little larger in that respect.
So these renovations that took place, et cetera, were they mandatory, or were these your wishes?
Some of them were mandatory. We did have some problems inside.
Okay.
Not much, though. Like
But
obviously new
any
windows.
structural problems there at
No.
all? No?
No.
Okay, I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Ms. Gifford, do you have any questions of the applicant?
I do. Forgot. No. Okay, Mr. Merritt was asking you what you felt the value was worth. I didn't hear your answer.
About $6.99
$6.99.
for that year.
And the permit values that the assessor was speaking of, you were in disagreement with those values that were put down?
Well, I guess you have to, and I wasn't there doing the permit, obviously, we had Mannington work with us on that, but you have to put, I guess, the retail value, and because we're in the industry, we don't necessarily we pay 50 cents on the dollar for the most part, because these are all trades that we use, but
That's my question, thank you.
Okay, I had asked the assessor if the property, where's the house located on the property? Is it to one side or is it smack dab?
it's actually to the front, like, we didn't change the footprint,
Right.
because we didn't add anything on the foundation.
So you have a huge side yard then on what
We
the
do.
side that,
We
is it on
do.
the corner of Roblin?
No, it's on Cuthbertson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, so you're south of, I guess, corner of Roblin,
Yes.
whatever is there.
Yeah, in between Cuthbertson and Court.
Okay.
So,
And we
I'm sorry, I did have one more question.
are.
so yes, we do have a side yard that we have to, that's,
And have you ever tried to, you ever thought about subdividing it,
no.
selling off the lot? Do you know
I
if you can?
I don't think we can.
Why?
Well, the idea for moving into that area was, he's been going to Laidlaw since he was in kindergarten, even though we weren't in the area, but it was just, I don't know, I just think it would ruin the integrity of the neighborhood to have another piece.
Well, your lot is twice as large as any of the comparables.
Right, but there are quite a few that are on that corner, a couple streets up, that are very similar to that.
So how much frontage have you got on,
I have no idea.
150 feet maybe?
It hadn't changed because we
Yeah.
hadn't increased it, so whatever it was, we didn't add anything to the front. It
Okay.
was just to the back.
And you say when you did work on it, you paid 50 cents on the dollar?
Pretty much.
But anybody else would have to pay $1 on the dollar, so
Yes.
the resale value would increase for every 50 cents you put in by $1 because you're talking about retail. You might buy it wholesale,
Right.
right?
We're not talking market value, we're talking,
No, I know.
okay,
But,
sorry.
but it would reflect the market though,
Yeah.
with the improvements.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Harvey, I did.
There's another question.
Yeah.
Sorry. You were mentioning the hydro wires is that at the back of the property?
It is, it goes all along. So where they would normally have put the back lane to go from our back lane, like the Boardroom back lane out to Cuthbertson, they didn't back then. They sort of turned it. So we have a backyard full of very large pools that are, I don't know, part of everyone else's hydro, so to speak, so.
How many poles, like, is it very,
3,
does it affect the depth of the property? The
it
usage?
does, it affects anything we can do in there, like you can't, I mean, if we would consider a pool, which forget it. We couldn't put one because you're too close to, there's not much you can do, so it's just, you know,
It's not like in the corners of the lot, does it go right across?
it goes
the
right
back?
across,
It does, huh?
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. You will hear from us.
okay. Good. I don't get to ask any other, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about the next assessment, because they don't make sense.
Yeah, so 2000, every 2 years is a reassessment year. So you unfortunately only appealed 2017. You did not appeal 2018.
Because they told me I couldn't, they said I had to do one versus.
So unfortunately, if you disagree with that value, which it sounds like you do, you'll have to wait until June of this year to appeal 2019's.
And that'll be for next year, because it'll be basically the same assessment year, but you,
Right. But they're telling me it's assessed, not at any of the prices you're assessing it at initially.
So 2017 is assessed at
I'm not
$796,000.
agreeing to this.
That was probably put out before the adjustments were put on.
Okay,
And then 2018 is at $845,000.
okay, got it. So I will go back and.
so the $845,000 will be the same assessment for 2019, but you can make an application to lower that one.
I can, so this one I can make an,
No,
For 19.
2019.
for 2019 only.
okay, thank you.
Sorry, I think I said the
No,
wrong
that's
thing.
okay.
already.
And the
It's very
assessment
confusing.
notices will not be sent out,
Right.
correct? So when does the roll close? June?
I think they have the first 3 weeks in June to get those.
Right.
So I do this coming June.
Yes, so you need to contact the assessment department in June
Okay,
and request for them to send out the 2019 assessment notice to you. When you get that, you have until the end of June, I believe it's the 24th or the 25th,
Something like that,
Okay.
yeah.
that you'll have to appeal that.
Okay.
Okay?
it's like completely frustrating, confusing when you get 2 assessments, you're like,
All kinds of documents in the mail.
well, I thought I was partially smart, but then you get this
No, it
and
is
you're totally
confusing.
losing it.
It's confusing.
Okay, thank you all. I hope my child learns something good.
Looks pretty
You
unusual.
got that, right?
You might have gone up a new level in the game, I don't know.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Ms. Moretti. So 150 Taché Avenue.
Yes, sir? Can you state your full name, please?
Tim Burwadi.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I think I might have an extra copy here, but
I got it.
Thank you.
thanks.
Ms. Goddess, when you're ready, you can proceed.
Okay, this is roll number 06091143000150 Taché Avenue. This property is located in the Norwood West neighborhood. It's a 1.5-story building built in 1940 with an effective age of 1985, and it measures 1,593 square feet with basement finish, 1 full bath, 2 half baths, 1 with a shower, air conditioning, a fireplace, detached multi-car garage, and it sits on a 5,999 square foot lot on a bus route with light traffic. This appeal is in relation to a supplementary tax notice that was sent out in regards to our office completing a sales verification, which included adding basement finish, 3-piece bath, air conditioning, gas open fireplace, glazed veranda, and effective age to reflect the upgrades. And this property sold to that post-reference. The comparables are all in the same neighborhood, and they're all 1.5 single-story buildings. 137 Monk, built in 24, effective age of 1980. It measures 2,056 square feet with no basement finish, 1 full bath, 1 half bath with shower, air conditioning, and a detached single garage. And it sits on a 5,989 square foot lot. This sale was not on MLS, but there was a 2011 sale for $390,000 thousand that showed upgrades. 46 Galwin, built in 46, effective age of 1966, measures 1,400 square feet with basement finish, 1 full bath, 1 half bath with shower, air conditioning, detached double garage on a 5,888 square foot lot. This sold with updated electrical, flooring, bathroom, windows, but the kitchen was older. 23 Larchwood Place was built in 48, effective age of 88, measures 1,090 square feet with basement finish, 1 full bath, air conditioning, sits on a 5,390 square foot lot, sold with updated kitchen, furnace, flooring, and windows. And 75 Gowan Street, built in 44, effective age of 57, measures 1,769 square feet with basement finish, 1 full bath, 1 half bath. It doesn't have air conditioning. It has 2 fireplaces, detached double garage on a 6,020 square foot lot, and that sale was not on MLS. So these sales range from 199.76 to 328.44. The subject is within the range at 273.70, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Girardi, any questions of the assessor?
A few, please. Have you had a chance to inspect the subject property?
No.
Did you have a chance to inspect any of the comparables? No. So this was a reassessment mid-cycle. Do you know what the previous assessed value was?
You're doing 2018, is that right?
Right.
So 2017 was 422,000?
Was it not 340,000 previous to that, or?
Before the supplementary?
Correct, yeah, before the supplementary.
I'm sorry, I don't have that. I just have the 422 and the 436.
Okay. I believe it was 340,000 before the supplementary, but if you don't have that, that's fine.
Okay.
So this was reassessed mid-cycle because of new information from the sale, that's correct?
Correct.
And so you had mentioned one thing, you said that the basement was finished. Did the city have no record of the finished basement prior to the sale?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
They added it for this
Okay,
sale.
so when I spoke with some of the assessment department, they indicated to me that they had the basement finished, just they added some square footage to the basement.
The notes say, use an effective age to reflect upgrades, add basement finish with extra 3-piece bath, and the rest of it.
Okay.
AC, gas, fireplace.
If that's what you have. Would you say Taché, in the flats area, would you say Taché is probably the busiest street?
Yes.
And lastly, you have a sale, a time-adjusted sale range from 358,000 to 410,000, but the assessed value is 436,000. Is there a reason why this is, 25 to 5% higher than any of the time-adjusted sale prices?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. We have a what?
If you look at your time-adjusted sale prices for the comparables,
Right,
they range from 358,000 to 410,000.
okay,
The assessed value of this property is 436,000.
right.
So you're 5 to 25% above the range of all the sale prices. That's just straight condition or sizes. Is there a reason why it's above all of the sales?
It's gonna be a factor of all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I could only compare it with 1.5 stories, so.
Okay. That's all my questions.
Thank you. Ms. Gifford, do you have any questions of the assessor?
Yes, would you just go over with me why the new supplement?
For the,
For the
it was a
subject.
sales verification.
Yeah, so was it to reflect the upgrades, or is it because
Yes.
you knew it sold?
No, we added, basement finish, 3-piece bath, air conditioning, gas fireplace, glazed veranda, and an effective age.
Okay, and
All of that was not captured before.
Okay, and the way you captured that was off the multiple listing for the sale?
Correct.
Okay. I do have one other question too. On 75 Gavin Street,
Yeah, I don't.
I noticed the year built's 1944, the effective age is 1957, and yet all the other ones, your model's showing effective age 1985, 1980,
Yeah,
88.
that, I didn't have an MLS listing for that,
Okay.
so
I'm just curious on your model, how do you arrive at an effective age when you have a house that's built in 1940, and you arrive at an effective age of 1985? In 1985, yeah. Is it just based on all of the
Yes.
upgrades?
yes,
And it just puts it in there and chunks it all
Yeah.
around and comes up, says with these kind of upgrades, it should be
yes,
equivalent to a 1985 house?
right.
Okay. And you said you didn't get a chance to inspect anything? Okay, thank you. That's my
Thank you.
questions.
Mr. Barrett, any
Yeah, I
questions?
just have one question, and I just noticed that, I just looked at the prices, the actual sales prices, and they're all below the assessed value. So, was there not any higher sales in the area of similar property?
Not for 1.5 stories.
Okay.
That's really limiting.
So the highest that you have here is 400,000.
Right, besides the subject
Comparable
property.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have no further questions.
Yeah, I just want to clarify how we get here today. So what happens is the sale goes through, the city notices that a sale went through. They then check out the upgrades that are stated forth in the listing.
Correct.
And I guess it's the sale price that tricks everything to begin with, when they say go through. So
Yeah.
even though it's post-reference, seeing it
Yes.
going through at I guess, 467.
Right.
Makes you say, well, there's a big discrepancy here, so it's the sale that it starts things rolling, right?
Correct. Yeah, we have certain times of the year that we do sales verifications.
Okay, and do you contact the homeowner to find out the reason why it might have sold for that price?
No, because he may have bought it, obviously he bought it
Right.
with these upgrades.
Right.
The previous owners did not get permits for these upgrades.
But it is post-reference, but it still shows there's a
Right,
big
but this is
discrepancy.
the only,
Yeah.
next to the only way.
Yeah.
We don't go door to door anymore because we just don't have the manpower.
Right.
So this is the only way of capturing what is really going on in a house,
Okay,
unless they take
okay,
permits.
now I see how we get here today, that's,
Yes.
okay. Mr. Barrett?
Mr. Chairman, can I
Yes,
ask one more
you
question
can.
of the assessor? You had mentioned, I think, but it's not in here, that there was a sale in 2011? Was that?
That was a comparable number one, I think.
Yes, that was a comparable one.
Oh,
Sorry.
I see. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
that was comparable, 137 Mount.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So the subject, the history's there, and there's
Yeah.
one post-reference
Right.
in 2017.
correct.
Okay, I have none.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Barrett?
Thank you. I'll just start off before I get to my report that, again, when the house was purchased, it was assessed at 340. So this sale, I believe, did trigger all of this. So the post-reference sale absolutely triggered all of this happening, so. I'll go to my report quickly here. The first 2 or 3 pages are just kind of a summary of the report, of the property itself. If you go into the third page where my comparables are located, I have 3 comparable sales, 2 of which are the same as the city's assessments or comparables. My comparable number 1 is the city's comparable number 3, and my comparable number 3 is the city's number 2. So again, there aren't a lot of 1.5-story properties in the area. That's why I did include a 2-story, but do have 2 of the 1.5 stories. Made some adjustments for size, for age, condition, and whatnot. Come up with a range of adjusted values from $395,000 to $407,000. Again, as the assessor confirmed, we went to the low end of the range of $395,000, given the location on Taché and the busier street that it's located on and its proximity to St. Mary's Road. It's only maybe 50 yards to St. Mary's Road. Other than my comparable sales, and if you flip through, there are some pictures of the subject property and some of the comparables for your information. I will draw your attention to the second last page as well before I conclude. This is a search on the Keystone system of all the sales from April 1st, 2014 to April 1st, 2016 in the Flats area. You'll see I drew a big line there to kind of show that there were 5 sales above the assessed value for the property. Those are two on Lindale, which are river fronting, one that was built in 2011, and 2 other buildings that were over 2,200 square feet. After that, I mean, the vast majority of homes in the area are selling for $340,000 to basically $400,000. Again, that just kind of shows the range of what's selling in the area on the effective date, and the fact that the assessed value of $436,000 is above basically everything in the area except for river frontage or a newer home. And I'll leave that for your review, and if there's any questions.
Okay, who's got us any questions of the applicant?
Not at this time, thank you.
Mr. Merritt?
Yeah, and Mr. Waddy, is this your own personal home?
It is.
Okay. I noticed that you have in your comparable on Larchwood Place.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that looks like a 2-story house, not a story and a half.
Okay.
Okay, and so would it be a 2-story?
No,
No, story and a half?
let me double check my picture here, make sure it's the right one. Comparable number 1?
Yeah, yes.
I think that's a 1.5 story. Not comparable number 2, I think is a 2-story building, but I think comparable number 1 is pretty clear if you're looking at the pictures.
Comparable to?
I'm sorry, yeah. It is comparable, number 2.
Yeah, and then it is.
Is that a
listed-
2-story?
It is listed as a 2-story in the chart, yeah.
Okay.
Again, there aren't a lot of 1.5 story houses
Yeah.
in the area. It's-
Yeah. But also, your comparables are the same as the city, which is comparable 1 and 3, eh?
Correct.
Okay. And you have a new one in there with the sale date of 2015.
Yes.
And that sold for $407,500. Now, is that similar to your house?
It's kind of similar all around. There's nothing that's really different. It's not in as good a condition, but it is larger, and it does have a pool.
Oh, right, okay.
So I actually, Larchwood I think is the most similar in terms of condition. It is smaller. I have one copy of pictures of Larchwood if anyone wants to see it. Larchwood it's in very nice condition. It is renovated. I think most homes in the area have received at least some, if not extensive renovations. So I actually believe Larchwood is the most similar in terms of condition.
And you settled on a market value for the subject in the reference year in the range of 395 to 407?
But that's what the comparables indicate, and at the bottom of the page I've said 395, given the location on a busier road.
I thank you, Mr. Roy.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Barati, did you prepare this appraisal yourself?
I put this together myself, yes.
And you are an appraiser?
I am.
Yes. And you also are the purchaser of this property, post-reference,
Correct.
for $467,500, which
Correct.
isn't really that much longer after the reference date.
It's about 18 months.
Yes. Why did you pay that amount if, because we know the houses haven't really gone up that much in the interim. So, looking at you as a very astute person, I'm wondering, you're downfalling this, so the properties are $395,000, but yet, some 18 months after the reference date, when prices really haven't gone up for as much as they were going up before, you paid that amount.
Post-reference.
But I know it's
Yeah.
but I'm still interested.
Post-reference, if you look at sales in the area, while values across the city may not have gone up, values in Norwood Flats, I believe, has gone up significantly more than across the city. There were multiple bids on this property, and I know for a fact that we were the highest bid by 5 figures.
Okay, so you think you might have overpaid?
I believe we did overpay.
Okay. How much do you think you overpaid?
Again, I know we were the highest bid by at least 5 figures. Post-reference, again, I'll say that.
Yes.
I believe that we overpaid by 5 figures. Really the highest bid by 5 figures.
Okay.
I guess the last pay, or I
Okay,
guess.
if you were to appraise this house today, being an appraiser, and it's post reference, but I'm just
Yeah.
interested, what would it appraise at today, do you think?
Purchase price.
Which price? Okay. I don't have anything else, thank you.
I have no questions.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Did you get my email?
I did.
Okay,
You know, just don't do that much.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can just, I'll let,
Yeah.
I'll update that.
Yeah,
I
then-
won't be attending.
Yeah, Dennis and I both got it, but
Okay.
we were attending your, it's just not.
I know, I
Yeah.
just didn't want to exclude you.
No, I appreciate it, but yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, right?
Best for last. Did you write this for me or from the Can you state your full name, please?
Susan Osborne.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sworn in?
Yep.
Do you state your full name, please?
Bruce Sampson.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Ms. Phelps, we'll do 16 and 17 first,
Okay,
okay?
so this is for 847 and 851 Knowles.
Oh, you did them all together?
Yeah, they're exact same plots of land.
Okay, so,
Same comps I've used,
Oh,
so
okay.
we can do 16, 17.
okay, so we'll do 16 and 17 for the two properties. That-
Okay,
That
great.
makes sense then.
All right, I'll
Okay.
read out the parcel ID 0400725760 is for 847 Knowles. And 0400725765 is for 851 Knowles.
Okay.
So this appeal for these two properties is a result of a replot and subsequent supplementary assessments for the two new plots of land. The 2016 and 2017 assessment is based on a market value of April 1st, 2014, and the same comparables will be used for both properties for both years. It's located in the Springfield North neighborhood, and it's almost at the corner of De Veres and Knowles. It has a commercial property influence across the street, but no access directly from Knowles to the commercial property. The lot sizes are 45 by 154 square feet, for a total of 6,929 square feet. The comparables for 16 and 17 are located throughout the city and are similar in size. They range in price from $17.19 to $24.15 a square foot. The subject is below all of these at $16.02 a square foot, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions of the assessor? We're dealing right now with both your properties, but for 2016 and 2017 assessment years.
No, I don't think so.
Mr. Mayor, do you have any questions? of the
I have
assessor?
none. Thank you.
And none for me.
Ms. Gladys, the only question I have is, I know that your comparables, and have to be, because vacant land is not present in the area, so you have to go outside.
Right.
But which of your comparables would you say is the closest to the subject property?
I would probably go with comp number 1, size-wise, and it has a heavy traffic influence. I know they're close to 59, or less, yeah. So I think I would use that one for 16 and 17.
Okay, I also noticed it turns out that your comparable number 1 sold for the highest amount per square foot.
Oh, yeah, it did, no,
No?
3 and 4 are higher per square foot.
Problem number one, doesn't it say $26.27?
No,
What am I looking at, the wrong page?
comp 1 is $19.56. Am I at the wrong year?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
14 market value I think you're looking at.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Okay, oh, I see, okay.
I thought we were talking about 16 and 17.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
it was
are, but
based on
it's a
2014.
14 market
I
value.
got you, sorry about that. Okay,
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I was looking at,
you know what, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, the 18 comps
Yes.
are better, but.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I have no questions. Okay, you can provide your evidence or go over your evidence now?
okay. So unfortunately, when we were looking for comparables for these lots, there was nothing on the price book available. There were no lots of any sort. We had a previous, and I'm gonna apologize, I forget the assessor's name, Heather. We had a conversation to find out what comparables she was using, so we've had a bit of a conversation and looked at the ones that she provided, and I think, as you noted, they're really not in the area. They, they're different. They're completely different, and these are the ones where these properties, I think, Susan, they were in newer developments.
Correct, with
You know,
paved streets.
Yeah, so paved streets,
Subdivision.
they really, I know that we try and do our best to do things, but these things really, we don't think they're comparable. So what we ended up doing, and I'm not sure how we'll work this out, is we did a better assessment with the 2016 because there was some more comparables, and then we worked backwards. So we'll end up sort of maybe going over this twice, but if you look at the information that we handed out, we worked with, and again, for 2016 appraisals, there was nothing in the price book. We had to work with what Heather provided for the properties. So using those, we came up with 791 Knowles being a comparable property, and then we worked backwards with the negative influences for the properties 841 and 857. And if you look at the photos, view from the front of the lots and view from the rear of the lots, you'll notice that there's an accounting for the commercial property, but we don't think it's been big enough, because the commercial property that we're talking about, the strip mall with Tim Hortons, and then the further view with the condominiums that have been constructed there, like everything around these particular lots is commercial property, with the exception of sort of moving up Knowles. But the view from these lots is completely commercial, right? They're right at the end of Knowles, so they're adjacent to Highway 59, and they have a front view of those pieces of commercial property. The rear view is now the new elevated overpass for the perimeter, and I think reasonable expectation that the land around the backside, like much of the land along 59, is being moved into commercial kind of enterprises along the frontage roads there. So taking those factors into account, for 2016, we came up with 107,400, which was $1,550 a square foot, and then using a market value change of 5.4%, we worked backwards to 2014 and came up with 101,600 for $14.16, or $14.66 per square foot. So while we understand that the assessor had accounted for some of the, commercial adjacent and sort of negative influences on the property with their assessment, we don't really think it was enough. We think that there's more negative, with those factors in that mall that's there, the Tim Hortons and the other things going on, that it's a bit more than the typical negative adjustment.
Anything else?
Just, yeah, so as we were in the information, so 791 Knowles, sold for 1840, and sorry, I forgot that part. There are a couple of photos of the view from that particular property, I guess the last sheet in the package. It has a much more residential flavor, so the view across the street is properties. There's a sort of an open park area across, kind of an undeveloped area across that's all residential. And you can tell by looking, the street view is an attempt to show its distance from 59. So there's not that influence of Highway 59 there.
Okay, just a third, when did 791 Knowles Avenue sell?
That'll be on the 2018 one,
Yeah.
my comps for.
Okay, oh, I see.
Yeah, so unfortunately, because we couldn't
Oh, I
find
see, yeah,
any
you have to go-
comps
I see,
for.
yeah. So you work backwards, try to,
Yeah, because we didn't,
Okay.
there was two, like I said, there was two things. Originally, we couldn't find any comps for 14 on the sales book. And then when we looked at the comps that the city had used, we just felt that really, you know, there's an attempt, but they're really not comparable because they don't have the same, so they don't have the same influences. They're in other parts of the city, and they're different construction. They're new construction in areas with paved streets, sort of cab-over designs, those sorts of things, right?
any questions, Ms. Rose?
No, I have no questions for that.
Mr. Merritt, any questions?
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Griffin, any
I just
questions?
wanted to, the pictures you have with the way the properties are oriented. This is your property, it's like,
Oh, sorry, that's the pictures from 791. That was a reference
oh,
property.
that's 781,
That was
okay.
Yeah.
Where are the other ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are facing this or backing on?
So
Just
the
so I
top
can get
picture is the front view from a potential home,
Okay,
and the bottom picture.
She's looking at a different picture.
Oh,
If
is she?
you
Sorry.
what am I doing
Go to the
here?
previous page, sorry.
Yes.
So that's
Okay.
me standing in the middle of the lots, taking pictures of what's right across from me and what's right from behind me.
Where am I? I can't see you.
Front.
Well,
She's taking pictures.
She's taking the
You say
pictures.
that? I thought you said that's me standing
Oh.
there.
She didn't say that, but I think she's taking the pictures, but I see how you got there.
So this is
Okay.
roughly,
All right, that's-
Susan, roughly standing in.
And trying to stand in the middle, just trying to tell
Middle
a
of the
picture
two
of what the view would
properties.
be.
All right,
And then page 2 is just showing you what that strip mall actually does look like and how busy it is.
okay. All right, I just wanted to get a better idea of how your property was oriented and stuff. Okay, thank you.
I don't think I have any questions.
Okay. Tell me, it's 2018 now?
Yeah, me as well. I think it's the same argument from the other side, so we have, you know, so.
Except I have much better comparables.
Okay, so let's do 2018 now.
So the comparables for 218 are all located in the same neighborhood as the subject property. Comparable number 4 is on the same street. Comparable number 1 and 3 are just west of the subject. And with the exception of comparable number 1, which is smaller than the other 3, are larger than the subject. And it reflects that in the price. So they range from $15.43 to $26.27 a square foot. The subject is $16.89 a square foot, and I believe the assessment should be maintained. And so this is a map of those comparables, and you can see the closeness as compared to the comps for 16 and 17.
Over here, page number 8.
Oriented there. Sorry.
Please flip this map. Expenditures. Okay, now it's your turn to ask questions again, if you have any. Now we're doing 2018. So that's a map of all the comparables?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I don't think any,
You don't have any questions? Matt?
no
Okay.
questions
Questions.
about, how, about the information sheet.
Okay. Let's see if you have any questions to the assessor.
No, no, thank you.
So my only question is, it appears from looking at the map that although they're in the vicinity, they have different frontages, like one property on City Claus looks like it's on a cul-de-sac,
Yeah, it's right on the corner of
Yeah.
Cindy Clausen and Knowles.
but they have different views from the property.
Definitely, yeah, and so they are getting a commercial adjacent as a downward negative
Okay.
influence.
And your opinion, of course, then, if you're maintaining the assessment as being accurate, that the downward assessment they've gotten is more than sufficient to offset
I
the difference
believe,
in the properties? That's your-
for-
that's your statement?
yeah, for almost 7,000 square foot lot for 117,000. I think that's a fair assessment.
Okay, thank you. And you have the same evidence you had last time. We got it. If you want to add anything to it, though,
Yeah,
certainly give you
I
everything
may
to do
have
so.
missed a couple of things, that we were talking about in terms of these particular lots. Also have that we're talking about have a fairly narrow frontage of 45 feet. So it limits the sort of the style and size of home that may actually be potentially placed on those particular lots. So it limits potential resale eventually for the lots. The subdivision wasn't done with an intent to sell the lots. It's really just a protection against the future. There's no intent at this current time to do any resale of those pieces of property. One thing we did notice is, and it's a little evident partially in,
Look first.
so in the very first photo on the second page of the package, on the very right-hand side, I guess Hydro's come through and done some improvements on their property, and they've actually done some pole replacement and put guy lines right through the middle of what would be the frontage of 847. We can share a better photo with the phone, but I didn't.
I didn't think that would be important,
It was-
Okay, it's not going to be an evidence item, so we can't.
Sure, and that's fair, but
You can see the corner of it.
The corner of it, they've ended up placing hydro guy wires pretty much towards the center of one of the pieces of the property. And then the rest of the presentation, comes to what I was saying before. We talked about 791 being a fairly good reference because it's on the same street, the same sort of unpaved roads or hard top and ditches. Bonner might be the next one that is close to that. Tamarack Cove
And Cindy Clausen.
and Cindy Clausen are both on
Both paved streets.
paved streets. Tamarack Cove is kind of a slightly newer type development, sort of because it's in a cove or a cul-de-sac type approach. So again, like we were saying, we looked at 791 and then, worked backwards from there, given the influences that we talked about before, about the commercial influences on the lots for 47 and 51, and then that's where we came up with 107, coming up at $15.50 a square foot. Interestingly enough, that's actually a little bit more than one of the comparables that was used by the city. So I think what we've come up with supports those particular pieces of property.
Okay, thank you. So we will make our determination. You'll receive it in the mail. You can have that map back. It's the evidence.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Is mine?
Might be. Might be.
No, that's yours.
No, well, it's gonna be yours very soon anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that takes care of
Yes,
it.
yes. Yes.